December 24th, 1990, Christmas Eve. Tom Cruise is getting married to Nicole Kidman, his second wife, his new beginning. She's Catholic, he's Scientology. Nobody at the wedding knows it yet, but this marriage is already doomed. Because by then, Tom isn't just in Scientology, he's being groomed, shaped, controlled. And over the next 15 years, the world would watch one of the greatest movie stars of all time slowly unravel on live television, not because of bad movies, but because of a church that wouldn't let him go. Let's talk about what really happened. You have to understand something about Tom Cruise in the late 80s. He wasn't just famous, he was untouchable. Top Gun had made him a god. Rain Man proved he could actually act. Born on the 4th of July earned him his first Oscar nomination. The guy was printing money. And in 1987, right after The Color of Money, his first wife, Mimi Rogers, introduced him to Scientology. At first, it seemed harmless. Tom said the church helped him with his dyslexia. He was grateful. He threw himself into it the way he threw himself into everything, completely, obsessively, without hesitation. But here's where it gets dark. Because Scientology doesn't just want your devotion. It wants ownership. And Tom? He gave them everything. Nicole Kidman tried to fight it. She was a devout Catholic, raised with priests and prayers and confession. She didn't believe in auditing sessions or clear states or paying thousands of dollars to unlock spiritual levels. Her father, a psychologist, saw what was happening and tried to warn her. But Tom was already too far gone. According to insiders, by the late 90s, David Miscavige, the head of Scientology, had his claws so deep in Tom that the actor couldn't make a decision without the church's approval. Think about that. The biggest movie star in the world, and he can't even pick his own girlfriend. In 2001, Nicole filed for divorce. The official reason? Irreconcilable differences. But people who knew them whispered the truth. She left Scientology, and Tom couldn't forgive her for it. Their two adopted kids, Isabella and Connor, stayed with Tom. They stayed in the church. Nicole was devastated. She'd wanted a baby so badly with Tom, but after an ectopic pregnancy that nearly killed her, they adopted through Scientology's network. And when the marriage fell apart, the church made sure those kids stayed loyal to their father. Nicole barely saw them after that. But Tom? Tom kept smiling, kept working, kept doing stunts that should have killed him. Mission Impossible 2, Minority Report, The Last Samurai. He was invincible until 2004, when he opened his mouth and said something he couldn't take back. Psychiatry should be outlawed. 5 words. That's all it took. He said it with conviction, with fire, like he was preaching gospel. And maybe to him, he was. Because Scientology despises psychiatry. They call it a scam, a lie, a tool of oppression. And Tom, faithful, devoted Tom, believed every word they told him. Then came Brooke Shields. She just had a baby and was struggling with postpartum depression. She went on medication, Paxil, and wrote about it publicly, hoping to help other mothers. Tom Cruise called her out on national television, told her she was wrong, that there was no such thing as a chemical imbalance, that vitamins and exercise were all she needed. The backlash was instant, furious. Brooke fired back, defending herself and every woman who'd ever suffered in silence. The medical community called Tom dangerous. The Lancet, one of the most respected medical journals in the world, said he was adding to the stigma of mental illness, making it worse for people who needed help. And then came the couch. May 23, 2005. The Oprah Winfrey Show. Tom Cruise is there to promote War of the Worlds, but he can't stop talking about Katie Holmes. He's in love, head over heels. He jumps on Oprah's couch. He pumps his fists. He kneels down and declares his love like a man possessed. America watched, and America cringed. It wasn't romantic. It was manic. People started asking questions. What's wrong with him? Is he okay? And then the rumors started. Rumors that would haunt Tom for years. That Katie Holmes had been auditioned by Scientology. That the church had vetted her, approved her, presented her to Tom like a gift, that before Katie, there was another woman, Nazanin Boniati, who'd been groomed for Tom, then discarded when she didn't meet the church's standards. Boniati later compared the experience to white slavery. She said she was manipulated, controlled, used, and when she didn't work out, they found someone else, someone younger, someone more famous, someone who wouldn't ask questions. Katie Holmes. But here's the thing about Katie. She was a fan. A genuine, starry-eyed fan who'd grown up with posters of Tom on her wall. She converted to Scientology for him, married him at a lavish ceremony in Italy with David Miscavige as Tom's best man, had a daughter with him, Suri. And then, in 2012, she fled. She filed for divorce in secret, moved to New York, and fought for sole custody of Suri, not joint, sole. She didn't want her daughter anywhere near Scientology. And she won. The church, and Tom, lost. He hasn't been photographed with Suri in over a decade. She's 18 now. She doesn't use his last name. Tom pays $400,000 a year in child support, but he doesn't see her, won't see her. Some say it's because Scientology labels defectors as suppressive persons, and any contact with them is forbidden. Others say Tom made a choice, the church or his daughter. He chose the church, so where does that leave us? Tom Cruise is still making movies, still doing his own stunts, still breaking box office records with Top Gun, Maverick, and Mission Impossible sequels. He's 62 years old and he's jumping out of planes, climbing buildings, hanging off motorcycles. But he's alone. No wife, no daughter, just the church, the cameras, and the endless need to prove he's still invincible. His publicist of 14 years, Pat Kingsley, quit in 2004, replaced by his Scientologist sister. Steven Spielberg reportedly cut ties with him after Scientology members protested outside a psychiatrist friend's office. Leah Remini, a former Scientologist, says Tom isn't the kind man he used to be, that he's changed, that he's become like Miscavige, cold, calculating, devoted only to the church. And maybe that's the real tragedy. Not the couch, not the Brooke Shields interview, not even the lost custody of Suri. It's that Tom Cruise, one of the most talented, charismatic, hardworking actors in history, gave his soul to an organization that promised him power and left him empty. He's still jumping out of planes, still chasing that adrenaline high. But you have to wonder, what's he running from?